bump has really popped. Beautiful. It was a weird job, guys. I was literally in a cult. It will absolutely 100% change our relationship. What do we think? What is the best advice for a successful marriage? Any plans on moving houses? Did you fall pregnant without any interventions? Good morning, my loves, and happy Monday, and welcome back to another vlog. I thought I would bring you along for just a chatty, good old-fashioned day in my life vlog. I was watching back on some of my old content, and I feel like it's been a while since I've done like a classic day in my life, really bringing you along for the full day, as opposed to a weekly vlog where I just, you know, get little snippets here and there. I also asked you guys for questions on my Instagram and on YouTube community posts, which I honestly forgot that feature even existed. I think I've made one community post in my entire YouTube existence. So I asked you guys for some questions on there, and yeah, I just thought we would answer some throughout the day as I go about my business rather than filming a full sit down video, which feels very formal sometimes. I thought we could just chat throughout the day. I have some work to do this morning, a couple of things around the house. I have a bunch of packages to open. We can open those together. Yeah, just a normal Monday in my life, to be honest. Nick's just left for work. I'm currently bricked out of my phone, but I screenshotted some questions last night before I went to bed, so I thought we could answer some. Why not get right into it? First question I got was, did you ever have a 9-to-5 job and do you regret leaving it? If so, this question is so funny to me because I forget that people are always joining at different times. And I guess if you've just tuned into my content or just subscribed to my channel, like, you would have no idea about the timeline of events. But yeah, I used to work a normal, regular 9-to-5 job. I quit that to pursue social media full time over a year and a half ago now, which is kind of crazy. Before I quit, I was working as a travel agent, which was easily one of my favorite jobs. I've worked a bunch of different places, a lot of different customer service roles. I started working when I was, what, 15, 16, working at Hungry Jack's. I was there for a little too long. I think I was like 21, 22 when I quit. And then I got my first 9-to-5 job working as a travel agent. I was there for like 10 months and then COVID hit. So I got made redundant. Same time as I was moving out of home for the first time. It was all very stressful. I luckily landed a job pretty quickly after working in insurance. I was there for like 2.5 years, working as a customer service representative, selling and servicing home, motor, landlord policies. I left that job, and then I spent 6 months working as an accounts receivable officer for a small business. Got let go, which was a whole deal within itself. It was a weird job, guys. I was literally in a cult. Looking back, it was a religious cult that I wasn't aware of when I took on the job, and I was an outcast. So that was an experience. That was the same time as when we were buying this land to build our first house. So we were renting, we were paying for a mortgage on the land and starting to build, and it was a bit much. But I luckily, again, landed a job pretty quickly after, like a couple weeks after getting back into the travel industry post-COVID. And yeah, that was where I was for like 18 months before I quit to do social media full time. And I loved it, honestly. I love the people I work with. I love the clients, the work. There's just like honestly no better job than selling travel. It's not like a typical sales role where you're really having to push and really grind. I mean, there are times you do, but travel kind of sells itself. To have a part in planning someone's sometimes dream holiday, something that they've been saving their whole life for, is really special. Do I regret leaving it? No. I'm honestly living my dream life right now, getting to work for myself. Whatever I put into what I do is what I get back in return, and that's really satisfying. I feel like I have a healthy relationship with my work and with my views and analytics and all of that kind of stuff. It's easy to put all of your self-worth in the views you're getting and the comments and the engagement and the brand deals you're getting. But so far, touch wood, I feel like I've been able to establish a pretty healthy boundary with that and a good balance. I love how much flexibility I have in my days. I love the freedom I have to travel, the travel opportunities I get from social media, and especially now going into motherhood, just having that flexibility to be able to work and still provide for my family, but also be a stay-at-home mum, essentially, is not something I take for granted. There's just so many perks to doing this full time, and it's also something that is so fleeting. Social media is an ever-changing landscape, and I know that it's not going to be around forever, or at least my existence on it in this capacity isn't going to be the same forever. So I'm really just enjoying the ride while I can, and I know that I have that skill set and that experience to fall back on. So yeah, I really have no regrets. There are just aspects of working a 9 to 5 that I miss. Mostly the people, my team, the clients. I think I'm lucky in that I talk about personal finance. That's like one of my, I guess, part of my niche. There's a lot of discussion around personal finance that doesn't have to be centered around me or my own personal finances. They can just be general topics. And so I feel like I have that outward content that I can make that isn't so selfish. I think if all I did was lifestyle content for me personally, and it was just focused on me and like what's going on in my life, then maybe I'd struggle a little bit more. Sometimes you just get over it, like talking about yourself. I go through these moods where I just don't feel like sharing anything, and I feel like protecting myself and my peace, and that kind of ebbs and flows depending on my mental health or what's going on in my life. But because I have that other like pillar of content that I can fall back on, I feel like I've got that nice balance, which I'm really grateful for. That was a very long-winded answer. I promise not all of them are gonna be that long. I'm gonna make some breakfast because I am hungry. Nick's just left to go to work. It's just gone past 8 o'clock. So I'm gonna make myself some brekkie, which kind of leads on to the next question. Someone asked, what have you been eating during pregnancy? Hi, if you're new here, I am in fact with child. I feel like my bump has really popped in the last week. I'm also very out of breath. I'm officially 23 weeks, which is crazy. That means I only have, what, 17 more weeks to go? Potentially less, potentially more. That's the thing about pregnancy and like labor. It's such an unknown quantity. There's basically like a month-long period where I could go into labor at any point, which is just, as a type A planner, really quite stressful. Yeah, we have made it to 23 weeks, which I'm so grateful for, especially pregnancy after loss. I just feel like each and every week I'm like, yes, we've made it. In terms of what I've been eating, breakfast really varies. I love a smoothie, even in the middle of winter. That's definitely been a go-to. I'll do banana, frozen berries, soy milk, add in some chia seeds. I actually just got some collagen, some vanilla collagen from Crumble Foods. So I might start adding that in, protein powder, just like a nice smoothie. That's like my go-to. Oats have been a big one with frozen berries that I just heat up in the microwave. Yogurt, Greek yogurt has been a big thing for me with granola again. Frozen mixed berries that I heat up in the microwave. And cereal. That's actually more of a snack, to be honest. First trimester, I would wake up at 2 a.m. starving, and Nick would go and fetch me a bowl of cereal. So sweet. So we are stocked up in terms of cereal. It's so funny. Pre-pregnancy, I don't think I had bought cereal in years, but love Crunchy Nut Clusters, Milo, Cocoa Pops, all of the good stuff. A lot of the cereals half price last week, so we stocked up. And then lunch, normally leftovers, salads, sandwiches. Been on a big sandwich kick. I am dabbling in deli meat. Controversial. One thing about pregnancy is the unsolicited advice people like to give you. I mean, obviously speak to your midwife, speak to your doctor, but deli meat, especially if it's like packaged deli meat that you buy yourself, like is no riskier than bagged salad. At least that's what I was told. The risk is listeria, and there's more chance of getting listeria from salad than a piece of ham. So we're also really lucky here in Australia. We have really good food control, food standards. Another thing is soft cheese. I did get a few comments about that because I was eating soft cheese on my Instagram. People were like, oh my God, should you be eating that? I'm like, leave me alone. Yes, you can eat soft cheese if it's pasteurized, which most cheese in Australia is. So marked safe on that one. But lunch for me has always been one of those really annoying meals that I have no interest in. Obviously I have to eat, especially in pregnancy. If I don't eat, I feel nauseous. It's just really leftovers from the night before is like the big thing. Like today I have some tuna pasta left over from dinner the other night. I'll sometimes whip up a salad, avocado toast. Couldn't stand it in the first trimester, but love it now. I could not stomach anything in the first trimester. I was living off pure carbs, crackers, sour lollies, cereal. What else was I eating? God, it feels like so long ago now. Oh, fruit. Fruit was my big thing in first trimester. That's like one of the few things I could stomach. And then dinner, we like to rotate. I actually filmed a TikTok and Instagram reel of what we ate for dinners this past week. So I'm going to post that tonight. If you're looking for meal ideas, I love watching those videos just to get inspiration. I think it's fun as well to see what people eat and how they plan their meals throughout the week. Anyway, with that being said, I am going to whip up something for breakfast. I actually think I might stew some apples. Maybe. Do we have any apples? Yogurt we have left is one of the strawberry protein ones, which are not my favorite. I usually prefer the salted caramel or the vanilla, but we're gonna make it work. Is this still in date? Yeah. And then I'm just gonna top it with the stewed apples and some granola, a little apple crumble, if you will. Stewed apples is one of the easiest things to do. I used to not meal prep, but like prep it for the week. Today I just did one apple because we're gonna go shopping tonight. But it's literally just chopped up apple. They don't have to be the exact same size. It's actually nice if they're different sizes because then you get some softer and harder pieces. And then cinnamon and water. That's literally it. I really like this granola. The Carmen's Gut Loving Granola, honey roasted almond and vanilla. Quite nice. There we have it. Beautiful. Oh, you want some? You are sitting so beautifully. That's good. Someone asked, I'd love for you to share how much you guys pay in interest each month on your home loan. This is an interesting question. I actually don't know off the top of my head, and it changes every month depending on how long the month is, if it's 30 days versus 31 because it's calculated daily. And it also depends how much money we have in our offset account, which also fluctuates depending on, you know, how much we spend, how much we earn. We're always adding to it. But let me pull it up. We have a split loan because we built this house. We had to take out a mortgage on the land and buy the land first before we could start building. And then we had to take out a second loan to fund the build. So we would draw down on that loan, if that makes sense. Once we purchased land and started building, the builder would send us an invoice for like $50,000, for example. We would send that to our bank and they would pay the builder directly, and then that would be added to our loan. So then we'd have a loan of 50,000, and then it, you know, went up and up as it does. So we still have two separate loans because we haven't refinanced, which we are in the process of doing. For one half of our loan, we made a payment of $1,922 and we incurred $1,378 in interest. The other loan, this one's the smaller one because it's connected to our offset, we made a payment of $1,613 and only $670 of interest was charged. So our mortgage repayments are about $3,535 and $2,048 of that went to interest, which is just pretty grim, isn't it? Pretty grim. Let's check YouTube and see if anyone left a question. I really don't even know how to use this feature. I feel like a boomer trying to use social media for the first time. Oh, we did get some questions. Okay. What is the best advice for a successful marriage and making sure you're both on the same page? P.S. Love your content and watching your family grow. Thank you so much. I feel like I'm still in the early days of marriage. Nick and I have been together coming up on 8 years now, and we've been married for nearly 4 of those years, which is wild. I feel like we got married literally yesterday. Honestly, I think this goes for any kind of relationship, and I've probably said this before, but I think remembering that you're on the same team, it's never you against each other. Well, I mean, sometimes it is, but if you're in a situation, in a loving, healthy, happy marriage where you both respect each other, I think if you ever encounter a problem or there's a task that you have to achieve or something, just remembering that it's both of you on the same team versus the issue. And I think when you think of it like that, rather than like you against each other, I feel like that really just diffuses everything. Anytime that Nick and I have an argument, it's normally just like a lack of communication. And I think just going back to that and remembering that it's not us against each other. We're not fighting each other. We're fighting the issue, which is a lack of communication, or this upset me. Like, how can we resolve this in the future? So sorry about my crazy dog. Yeah, just remembering you're on the same team. Like, you're trying to achieve the same thing. You both love each other. Hopefully, just open, honest communication, not letting things fester. I think if something is bothering you, speak up. There's nothing worse than suppressing those emotions and those feelings and then turning it around on your partner one day because you blow up and you're just like, you did this, this, and this, and this is how you're making me feel. Like, I think that's really unfair. I think just having open, honest communication at all times and just respecting each other. I think it really comes down to like respect and communication, and like obviously you have to like each other. I think another thing is remembering it's not always going to be 50-50. I actually got a comment about this on my recent TikTok, which felt like a dig. I don't know if I'm just burnt from social media and this is where my head goes to instantly. The way it was worded felt like a dig, but someone said something along the lines of like, well, how do you share household chores? Like, is it 50-50 then? Something like that. It was completely unrelated to whatever I was discussing. But I would say like the household chores, household management is a pretty even 50-50. The way we show up in our relationship isn't always going to be completely equitable. There's so many things in terms of schedules, mental health, physical health. I mean, first trimester, I was a shell of a human. I was probably giving maybe 5% at a push. And so during those few months, Nick had to really step up to the plate and give the full 95% of himself, which He did, believe me, and I feel so lucky for that, to have such a supportive partner. Like if how he showed up in first trimester is any indication of the father he's going to be, like I am so lucky, and how he's going to support me postpartum, like I know he's just going to be the best. Yeah, I think over the years we've just learned that we have to kind of show up and pull our weight in different ways, and through different seasons it's going to look entirely different. It's never going to be completely 50-50, and I think once you realize that, it kind of takes away all that resentment. I'm now getting ready. I'm trying to get better about getting ready every single day. Really easy to let that fall by the wayside when you work for yourself and you work from home. I have a bit on work-wise. I have some concepts that I need to send through to my manager for approval, which is literally half the job, I swear. It's like emails, computer work, if you will, and concepts. Concepts. We're in the last quarter of the year. We're approaching Christmas time, so I feel like there's a lot of campaigns coming up. There's a lot of things in the pipeline, which is exciting, and it's weird to think that I'll be basically finishing up work come the new year. I also got the second round of feedback on some content that I sent through last week, so I need to make the edits on that and send it back, and hopefully that can go live this week. I also needed the voiceover for the TikTok Instagram reel that's going up tonight. Make the final edits on that, and we should be hunky-dory, and then just whatever comes throughout the day. But let's answer a couple more questions. A lot of motherhood and pregnancy related questions, so I'll rapid fire through some. Will you be breastfeeding baby boy? No judgment at all, just curious. Congrats. Thank you. I'm hoping to. I'm trying not to put too much pressure on it. Like anything with pregnancy and motherhood, zero expectations, but it is a preference. I would like to try and breastfeed if I can. What sport will Nick want baby boy to play? Cricket or footy? I don't think he cares. I think we'll both support whatever they're interested in. What are your feelings about being tall so you're not showing as much? Initially I was worried. I feel like it's only natural to compare yourself, just seeing other women online in a similar gestation to me and then be like, oh, my bum doesn't look like that. I kind of learned to stop making those comparisons because no two pregnancies are the same. I think having our 20-week anatomy scan and seeing everything was low risk. The baby was measuring perfectly, actually measuring a week ahead. He's in the 74th percentile. So like knowing that, I think that's given me a lot of reassurance that he's big. He's big. I just have a lot more room than some other women, and my bump, I mean, it's definitely popped in the last week or so. I feel like I'm gonna watch back on this and be like, girl, you had no idea what was coming for you. I think if anything, I should just be grateful to be pregnant, grateful that I have some extra length in my torso. He's hiding in there. Do you think yours and Nick's relationship will change with newborn? Absolutely. There's no way it can't. I'm hoping for the better. I have a few friends that have had children, and seeing how they've navigated that and the pressures and challenges it's put on their relationship, I feel like has made me maybe a little bit more prepared for what to expect. I've also seen it only strengthen some people's relationships. It will absolutely 100% change our relationship, but hopefully for the greater good. How many kids would you like to have? I've always said 3. I actually used to say 4, but I don't know about that anymore. I'm one of 5 kids, so I grew up in a large household. I always really enjoyed being part of a big family. Like there was always someone around, always someone to play with. It was just like a fun dynamic. However, I've never experienced motherhood for myself. I have no idea what to expect. And so I feel like it's hard to have a definite answer until we have a bit more insight on it. I'm gonna say 3, like 2 to 3, but it could very well change. I could have 1 and be like, I'm done. Is there any meaning behind the artwork in your dining room? No, absolutely none. I just liked it. It's actually probably one of my most asked questions is where it's from. It's from Etsy. It's just a download on Etsy, and then I printed them off at Officeworks, I want to say, like A3 nice paper, and then the frames they're from came up. It was like super affordable. I just like the colors. I like the card design. I think there's something fun about it, and it says lucky you, and I'm a lucky girl. What do your parents want to be called once little man arrives? They've toyed with the idea of being called Pa and Nini, like Panini. I just think that's hilarious. My dad is definitely a Pa. He's got Pa energy. And my mum, she's not a grandma. She's not a nana. She's a Nini. Ooh, favorite The Life of a Showgirl song? This is really hard. Every time I listen to it, I have a new fave. I really like the whole album, honestly. Like, every single song. It's just banger after a banger in my opinion. And it's one of those albums that I actually enjoyed from the first listen, like from the get-go, which is rare for me. Torture Police Department is probably my favorite Taylor Swift album. It took me a while to warm up to. When I listened to it the first time, I was like, oh, I don't know about this. Now it's my favorite album. Whereas I feel like The Life of a Showgirl instantly was just like, I like it. I like what I'm hearing. Right now, I mean, The Fate of Ophelia, Father Figure, Actually Romantic, Would, love Would, What a Bop. I mean, literally every single song. Probably Eldest Daughter. I don't know. Ask me tomorrow. I'll have a new answer for you.
I'm hushing the dog on the chain. I'm running up stones on the edge of the bank. Rally the troops for another refrain. I sing this softly to myself. I sing this softly to myself. I'm buried beneath the sand. There's no way to speak or reach out my hand. Watching the paper slowly unfold.
I may or may not have blacked out last week during the Amazon Prime deals. It was their big day deals. Yeah. Did some damage. None of it really for me. I got a couple of maternity related things. I got a pregnancy pillow, which I kind of wait to unbox. I'm hoping it's in one of these. I'm finding it harder and harder to sleep at night. I'm a tummy sleeper by nature, and not being able to sleep on my stomach is quite hard. I'm not gonna lie. You also, after a certain point, not meant to sleep on your back for too long. So it's a side sleep situation, and a pregnancy pillow I feel like it's gonna make the world of difference. But yeah, got a bunch of baby stuff that's been on my list. Some of the sales were too good to pass up, so I thought we could do a little unboxing together. I've had a lot of people ask what we're planning on buying for the baby or what we've already bought. We really haven't bought much. Maybe I'll do like a short form video about what we're planning on buying. You guys have been so helpful as well. I asked for some recommendations of like your absolute essentials, things that you really loved, and we got so many good ideas. So I stocked up on water wipes. These in particular had really good reviews, and I think they were like 50% off or something crazy. Okay, I think this is my maternity stuff. This brand I have heard so much about, and I've never tried it. Hello Nosy. Never tried it before. CRZ Yoga. They have a really great maternity range. So I got a pair of maternity bike shorts. They feel quite thin. So I'm hoping they're not, oh, they actually don't seem too bad. They have a big old waistband, which is ideal. I don't know, I thought I'd give them a go. What else did I get? Oh, the maternity jumpsuit. I feel like this, if I find a good fitting one, will be my outfit for the summer. I'll be like Arthur the aardvark with my yellow jumper and blue jeans, but like black jumpsuit version. And then I think this must be my pregnancy pillow, which looks questionable. This looks like something that would be on border security. Like one of those packages they're testing for drugs. It's really heavy as well. I'm guessing it's suction sealed. Is that what it's called? I'm like unable to use correct words recently. Suction sealed, suction packed. What am I trying to say? Suction packed? You know what I'm getting at. Okay, well, can't wait to use that tonight. And then this must be all the baby stuff. Oh, this is so exciting. This makes it feel so real. Okay, this isn't baby related, but I've wanted to try this cooking book for ages. It was 30% off during the Prime deal. The Wishbone cookbook. I love her TikToks. I've got some muslin burp cloths and some bibs. Ooh, these feel lovely actually. Beautiful. Okay, this one is controversial, but everyone that I know or everyone that I've spoken to that has one of these loves it, raves about it, couldn't recommend it enough. I was umming and ahhing for ages, like, is this really necessary? And I don't think it is, but I also know myself and I know how paranoid I'm gonna be. Something that will even remotely help with that is a win in my eyes. It's worth it. Also, the deal was really good. Yeah, we got the Owlet Smart Sock. Also got a thermometer for the bath. And then last but not least, we got our baby monitor. We went with the Cubo AI. Again, purely from recommendations, reading reviews. A lot of you guys really recommended it. My friend Kirsty has this one. And we got the one with the floor stand, so we can move it, have it in our bedroom when he's in the bassinet, and then move it into his nursery when he's up there. That really wasn't that exciting, was it? Oh, you know what is exciting? we got our wallpaper samples. These actually came really fast. I have not seen them because I wanted to open them with you guys on camera. If you didn't watch my last vlog, we ordered some wallpaper samples from this brand called hovia.com. They do a ton of really cute wallpaper designs. I ended up ordering 2 samples just to see which one I preferred. This is for the baby's room. We're just doing it on one wall, like one feature wall. Oh, stop it. That is actually even cuter than I imagined. Oh no, I love that. That is adorable. I really like that. What do you guys think? You're gonna have to use your imagination. Imagine it on a larger scale. And then I also ordered, oh, I actually quite like the blue. That's thrown a spanner in the works, hasn't it? I do like the blue more than I thought. Okay, don't know what to do with that information. I'm gonna have to take it upstairs into the room and see in the natural light. I like the yellow though. I do like the yellow. Like this is more neutral. It's not really a yellow, it's more of like a beigey. And then if we're still in this house when we have a second baby, it doesn't matter what the gender is, whereas I feel like this kind of screams boy, does it? I don't know. I'm gonna hold them up and you guys will have to tell me which you prefer. What do we think? I think maybe this is too cool toned. I think I like the warmth of this. And again, you have to imagine it on a large scale. That's really nice. It feels beautiful. It's now 9 p.m. and I am tucked up in bed. I unpacked my pregnancy pillow. I'm just letting it inflate. We did our grocery shop tonight, did a big stock up, made nachos for dinner, which was lovely. And now I'm going to settle down with a book. I finished this last night, or this morning should I say, early hours of this morning. I couldn't sleep, so I finished it at 4 a.m. The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I have been reading this for the last like 5 or 6 weeks, but I was away traveling for 2 of them. But I picked it back up and finished the last half in the last few days and I loved it. This was a 5-star for me. I knew I was probably gonna like it. The reviews on this on Goodreads are so high, especially for how many ratings there are. I think it's like 4.36 or something, 4.64, and there's almost 2 million ratings, which is crazy. Yeah, loved it. It was heartbreaking but so heartwarming at the same time. It's set in World War II. I feel like I learned so much more about World War II, especially the women's side of it. You always hear about the men and the men's role in the war, but what happened to the people that were left behind and how they coped and the things that they did to fight back. Yeah, it was such a beautiful story and I loved it. So I finished that. Moving on to my next read, I can't decide if I want to download something on my Kindle or I might start this, the Idaho Murders. What a change up. I watched the documentary a few months ago and I really enjoyed it. This book is meant to be good. Well, the font is big. You love to see it. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna give this a go. Is this gonna scare me just before bedtime? Probably. Otherwise there's a new Lisa Jewell thriller which isn't gonna be any less scary, but what's it called? Don't Let Him In. I think every book I read from her has been a 4-star. I read None of This Is True, Then She Was Gone, The Night She Disappeared. I think that's all from her, but that one is relatively new release. So maybe I'll give that a go, download it on my Kindle. I don't know. Anyway, let's answer a couple more questions before we call it a day. Katie asks, of all the places you've traveled to, what destination do you think is the most underrated? Is there anywhere you're looking forward to being able to travel with your son? And when packing, how do you find balance between not overpacking but still feeling like you've got everything you might want to bring with you? Okay, let's unpack this. Favorite place I've traveled to that I think is the most underrated would have to be the Cook Islands. I had 0 expectations going into the Cook Islands trip. I went with Jetstar in March of last year and I still think about that place every single day. Me and Olivia were talking about it. We've done a fair bit of traveling together now and individually Cook Islands comes out on top pretty much every single time. Like it is arguably one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to in my entire life. I've never seen more beautiful blue water in my entire life. It was just stunning. Is there anywhere you're looking forward to being able to travel with your son? Honestly, anywhere. We have a rough plan and call me crazy. All of my friends that have kids already have said, if you have the means and the time, try and travel as much as you can within the first year of your child's life, especially when you only have one kid. After that, it just gets logistically quite hard. But within that first year before they're too mobile, try and do a trip. So that is on the cards for us, I think. We're gonna see how we go. Watch me be like, absolutely not. Couldn't think of anything worse. But we are hoping to do maybe a Europe trip. We're really lucky that Nick gets great parental leave, so the plan is for him to take I think about 6 weeks off when the baby is first born, and then I think in total he gets 16 weeks leave, so then taking the other like I don't know, 10, 12 weeks later on in the year. I think he has to use it within the first 2 years of the child's life. So our baby's due early Feb. He'll take 6 weeks off then. And then I think like early October, he'll take 3 months off and see out the end of the year. So we're thinking sometime within that chunk of time, we might try and organize some kind of trip. When packing, how do you find balance between not overpacking but still feeling like you've got everything you might want to bring with you? I always just remind myself that I can buy whatever I'm forgetting, or if I desperately need something, I can replace it. So that usually puts my mind at ease. But typically I'll go through and look at my itinerary. If it's a brand trip, they usually send through an itinerary a couple weeks before. That way you can plan your outfits and be really meticulous when it comes to packing. So I'll look at the day and what we have planned to be like, this outfit would be perfect. If I'm planning my own trip, I usually have a pretty detailed itinerary, so I know what I'm doing. I will try and reuse and rewear things as well. If I'm packing a pair of jeans, I'll try and have multiple outfits that I can wear that pair of jeans with, and then just mix and match the tops or accessories. Unless you're like climbing a mountain, you're probably going to be able to rewear or wash clothes. Any plans on moving houses? Love your videos, by the way. Thank you so much. We love our house. It's perfect size for us, at least at this point. We love this area. We're close to both of our families, close to the beach, close to the city. Like, it's honestly the perfect spot, and we'd be hard pressed to find anything remotely similar for the same price in this area. Like, it's not possible anymore. So we would have to up our budget, and yeah, we just don't really have a desire to do that right now. I think maybe in the next 2 to 5 years potentially we might look at moving. We're also exploring still an investment property, or whether we wait and turn this into an investment property and then buy a new primary residence. We haven't quite decided what the best avenue is. Our issue is that a lot of the investment properties that we're looking at are more expensive than ours. So I don't know, it doesn't really make sense in my head to have a bigger mortgage on a property that we're not going to live in, whereas we can turn this into an investment property in a few years time and then buy like our dream house or a bigger house for our growing family. But yeah, no immediate plans, honestly. Sorry, little change of position. I can't stay in the same spot for too long. I get achy. Also, don't mind my headboard. Needs a hoover. Little dusty, let's just say that. Someone asked, how long have you been tracking your money, and do you believe it truly helps? I do. I have been tracking our money for going on like 4 or 5 years now, and it has truly changed my life. Whether you use the spreadsheet I use or not, maybe you're a pen and paper kind of gal, I think no matter what, manually tracking is a game changer. It is so enlightening seeing exactly where your money goes. Those $5, $10 purchases add up so fast, and seeing it across a month, especially like if you've never tracked your money, just do it for 1 month. 1 month. Every single day, type in your expenses. The budget spreadsheet I use just automatically totals everything for me, which is most ideal because maths is not my strong suit. I love it as well because I can see where my money's going in real time and make adjustments from there. Yeah, tracking my money has allowed me to make those adjustments and to identify areas of improvement. I can also see where I like spending my money and the things that I value and what I'm okay spending my money on. And it's good to have like a ballpark figure, especially when it comes to saving, building an emergency fund, to know what your bare bone expenses are and then building a budget from there. Yeah, I love tracking my money and seeing where it goes. It's humbling. It is humbling, but it's also very empowering. And that's like half of budgeting, honestly. What's a few things for baby you'll splurge on? I haven't quite decided. I think most of the like big ticket items, like the crib, the pram, car seat, nursing chair, those are all things that I'm willing to splurge a little bit more on, especially because we do plan on having at least one more child if we're so lucky. And so I'd like to invest and make sure that those items have longevity. So I have my eye on a couple of things. We have ordered our nursery set actually, which is really exciting, but baby stuff can be expensive. I'm definitely looking for ways to save money. I'm holding out for the Black Friday sales as well. Did you feel pregnant without any interventions? Yes, I did. I talked about our TTC journey and just my whole pregnancy journey in a pregnancy Q&A, in case you missed that. And we're going to end with one last one. What are some Christmas traditions you'd like to introduce when baby is here? Oh my God, so many. Christmas is my favorite time of year. And my mum always did such a good job. I say my mum, but my mum and my dad always did such a good job of making Christmas feel so magical. I can't wait to do that for my own child, and especially as I get older and actually can understand what Christmas is. I'm sure we'll create our own traditions and figure out ways to make Christmas feel magical for our child, but some things that my parents did that I loved. I remember one year they set up a camera on like self-timer and took a photo of Father Christmas's boot going up the chimneys when we lived in the UK. I was like, oh my gosh, you captured a photo of Santa running away. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. They always did the classic icing sugar footprint situation, which I don't know why I never computed. Like, snow hasn't melted in my house. I think they told me it was magic snow. checks out. We got our main presents from our parents, but Father Christmas would always leave a little stocking full of little bits and bobs, and that was my favorite part. It still is my favorite part. I make Nick do it for me, so I just can't give it up. I'm sorry, I need my stocking. There's so many things I can't wait to do. I'm sure I will have many a tradition when the baby arrives. It's crazy to think this will be our last Christmas, just the two of us. Forever. Like, this is it. Pretty wild, actually, when you think about it. I will also be very, very pregnant, and I'm a little worried because I'm already struggling to eat. Like, I just do not have, I have the appetite, but I physically have no room. Like, I feel like I'm running out of room already. Anyway, I am going to read my book and call it a night. But thank you guys so much for spending the day with me and chatting and taking the time to answer your questions. I wish I could answer them all. You guys always ask such thoughtful, sweet questions. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'll see you very, very soon for another video. Bye, guys.